What's up, guys? James Carter TV coming at you on a Saturday, and this is something I want to make a weekly thing. Now, for those of you that have been subscribed to me for quite a while, and you watched my video about a month ago or 2 months ago when I made a channel update and I said I wanted to start doing Q&As, I haven't, but we're going to start it again. Each and every Saturday, it's going to be a Q&A on this channel. I'm calling it Saturday Q&As. All right, I think that's kind of catchy, you know, if you ask me. So what I want you to do is I want you to ask questions down below, and I'll answer each and every single one of them, and it can be about anything. It does not have to be sports related. I will answer you. Some I'll answer quicker than most just because, well, their questions may not be that interesting, but each and every week there'll be a Q&A on this channel because Saturday is a really open day for me. As most of you know, I'm at college here at Vanderbilt University, and throughout Monday through Friday, I'm pretty freaking busy, but on Saturday and Sunday, I move everything in my schedule around Sunday. That way I don't have to worry about anything. I can sit down, I can watch the NFL. Saturday, I do have some homework and some studying and stuff to do, but I can fit in a video quite easily. So Saturday is definitely a day I want to consistently upload a video each and every week, so why not make it a Q&A Saturday? Now, I have to apologize because for those of you that left comments on that first video where I announced I was making Q&A videos, I accidentally deleted that video, so if you asked a comment down there, it got deleted. Some of you asked questions on Q&A number 1, but since those people came first, I'm just going to reset it all right now. We're starting again, Q&A questions. Sorry for the inconvenience. Just ask me again. It will get answered, although we may end up getting behind by a couple of videos because I will aim to answer every question, which means you may ask me a question on Q&A number 3 and it won't be answered until Q&A number 6. And I may eliminate some questions if they're no longer relevant. So if you ask me before week 4, is my team going to win this game? Which you shouldn't ask me because you just watched my prediction video. But then I'm answering this question in week 8. I'm not going to answer the question anymore. So, but keep that in mind. So try to ask open-ended questions that aren't like time specific. Like right now, you need to answer this right now because it may not be answered for a couple weeks if I get backed up. But for now, go ahead and ask your questions and know that they won't be answered though until next Saturday. But main topic of this video, I want to discuss the 0-2 teams that are currently in the NFL after week 2. And this is on the eve of NFL Sunday, so things will change in less than 24 hours. Things will be different. But for right now, things are very perplexing in the NFL. I don't know what's going on, and I've never really seen anything quite like this, where there are so many teams that were projected to be playoff teams, projected to be Super Bowl contenders, some of them, that are starting off 0-2, and yes, it's early, but 0-2, only 12% of teams that have started 0-2 have made the playoffs, so it's kind of a big deal. So I want to ask you, which of these 0-2 teams are going to make the playoffs? And you can only pick 2 because really, statistically, not even one of them is going to do it. So maybe I can buy that one will make it. I can buy 2, 3. I'm not going to buy that. Give me 2 teams that are going to make it and tell me why down in the comments below. I'm going to give you my 2, but first I'm going to look at each and every team and why they're 0-2 and if they can fix it. Let's start with the Detroit Lions, okay? 0-2, this is a don't panic situation, but they're not going to make the playoffs. The Detroit Lions are not going to make the playoffs, but this is a situation where I don't know why anyone was expecting them to make the playoffs. Their schedule last year was kind of forgiving. They swept the Minnesota Vikings. That wasn't going to happen this year. They beat the Green Bay Packers last year. They're going to have trouble doing that this year. They're going to run all over the Bears again, but their schedule is more difficult this year. They lost Ndamukong Suh. They have issues on that offensive line. Of course they aren't going to make the playoffs, but they're still going to be, I think, an 8-8, 9-7, possibly 10-6, and maybe in the playoff mix. I'm not picking them to make the playoffs. Not that there's no chance, but I'm not picking it. And more importantly, though, don't panic, Detroit Lions fans. Understand that you guys were on the road for your first 2 games. You went to San Diego, you went to Minnesota, and these are 2 middle of the road, 2 good, pretty good, decent teams. this is no need to panic. Now, if you lose tomorrow, then you might need to start panicking a little bit. But I picked the Lions to win this game, and I'm sticking by that. The Lions have a trend, and they've shown an ability to win games in Ford Field and to play up to talent and unfortunately sometimes play down. We've seen this plenty of times in the past. Matthew Stafford is just way too inconsistent of a quarterback, but sometimes he can be on and Calvin Johnson can be on and they can upset the best of teams. So it wouldn't surprise me at all to see the Detroit Lions win tomorrow and then get back on the winning path. Ultimately, though, I think they'll be just outside of the playoffs. I can't project them to make the playoffs. I can't do it. But mainly, calm down. It's fine. You went on the road for the first 2 weeks. You're coming back home. Let's see how you perform home first before we overreact. But I'm saying no playoffs for the Detroit Lions. All right, we have the Philadelphia Eagles 0-2. Lucky for the Philadelphia Eagles, the NFC East is wide open. Now, I've really been sitting down and thinking about this because this is one of the more perplexing things in the NFL right now. I think I might stick with the Cowboys to win the division. Now, I need to see how Brandon Weeden performs tomorrow. But if the Cowboys can win 2 games, just win 2 games with this Brandon Weeden regime, Tony Romo and Dez Bryant come back by, let's say, week 10. They have 6 or 7 games to win. They won't win all of them, but they could win 5. And then I could still see the Cowboys winning 8 or 9 games, and that could be enough to still win the NFC East. So let's not completely discount the Dallas Cowboys here. Just win 2 games with Brandon Weeden. Hope that Tony Romo and Dez Bryant can come back and win 5. And I don't think that's asking too much to ask for. So, with that said, the Philadelphia Eagles, they still have a chance to win this division. They need to win tomorrow, though. If they start 0-3, I'm picking the Cowboys. I'll be right back on the Cowboys bandwagon. But right now, the Eagles are the healthiest and really most talented team in that division. They should win this division, but man, they've looked bad to start. Losing in Atlanta, they should have won that game. They were favored to win that game. Losing in Philadelphia to Dallas, they should have won that game. They were favored to win that game. They're losing games as favorites. They're losing games they should be winning. What's going to happen when they face better teams? That's what's worrisome. They need to win in New York tomorrow. Next team, we have the Chicago Bears. The Bears are now the trendy pick to be the worst team in the NFL. I'm not buying it. Now, I do think they'll be pretty bad. And I thought they were going to be 7-9 coming in. I guess I overreached a little bit. This is still one of the more talented teams in the NFL, though. Jay Cutler is better than, I'll say, eight other starting quarterbacks in the NFL, like Blake Bortles and Josh McCown and other clowns and nincompoops of that nature. You still have Alshon Jeffrey. You still have Matt Forte. You still have that offensive line that's pretty freaking good in their own right. You still have on the defense Pernell McPhee and Jared Allen and Adrian Amos, who's stepping up as a rookie. So I thought, and Jeremiah Ratliff on that defensive line, so I thought, yeah, they're not going to be good, but they're still going to compete. Now, Jay Cutler is now out for what's going to be probably a couple weeks, and they're going to lose their fair share of games. I can't believe, though, that they're going to be the worst team in the NFL. I can't buy that, especially with this coaching staff. John Fox, Vic Fangio, Adam Gase. They're going to win their fair share of games. Right now, I'm projecting 4 or 5 wins. Yes, that's not good at all. That's probably going to get them a top 5 draft pick. But worst team in the league, I'm not buying that. I think there are still teams that are worse than the Chicago Bears. But there are definitely no playoff chances for them. Next team, you have the Houston Texans, who are 0-2. This is a team that I had downright. I mean, I had this one right. I had it correct. I had it called. I said before the season, the Houston Texans don't have a quarterback, guys, and they have really the worst quarterback position in the NFL. So, with that in mind, how are you going to win games in 2015? You can't win in 2015 in the NFL with the worst quarterback position in the NFL. You can't do it. With that quarterback status that they have, you're not going to win games. And this is proven to be the case early in the season. If they lose tomorrow, they're starting 0-6 because they still have to face the Colts on this stretch. They still have to face some other tough teams that they're not going to be. They need to win tomorrow because this is the first win they're going to have in the first 2 months. So, this is the only win I see them getting. Now Aaron Foster is coming back, okay? So maybe he'll run them to a couple of victories and J.J. Watt will get a couple of victories. But this is, to me, maximum a 6-10 team, max. I mean, they're not going to do better than that, and nor should Texans fans want them to. Because next year, I'm only projecting 2 first-round quarterbacks in Connor Cook and Jared Goff. You should want to have a number 1 draft pick. That way you can draft one of those kids, because if you guys don't get one of them, you're going to go through this again. I don't care that you have J.J. Watt and you have Jadeveon Clowney. You need a quarterback to succeed in the NFL, and you don't have one, and you should do whatever you can to get one. Seattle Seahawks. People that followed me last year know about me and the Seattle Seahawks. I thought they were going to miss the playoffs last year. And this got me a lot of hate, and I guess deservedly so, because they ended up making it. But they started slow last year, and I got on them for that. This year they're starting slow again, but this year I'm okay with it. The thing is with the Seahawks, they lost a game that they should have won in St. Louis. Okay, fine. You can lose a game that you shouldn't every year. You can do that. And then they lost to Green Bay, of course. In Green Bay. You're going to lose to Green Bay in Green Bay. Now, you have the opportunity to start running as you face the Bears this week, as you face the Detroit Lions the week after that. My concern now, and this is the team that I absolutely think they're making the playoffs. The Seattle Seahawks, they're in the playoffs. They're making the playoffs. That's no question for me. The question now is, are you going to win the division? Because that's actually going to be pretty difficult. More difficult than I had projected. I thought the Seahawks were going to win the division easy. The Arizona Cardinals appear to be one of the best teams in the NFL, and they're going to cause problems for you. So the question is not for me. Will they make the playoffs? They're going to make the playoffs. Like, if I had to project right now the 6 teams in the playoffs, the Green Bay Packers win the NFC North. The Atlanta Falcons win the NFC South. Panthers might be 500, but they're not going to be in the playoff mix. So, yeah, Falcons win the NFC South. NFC East is won by somebody. No one else competes for a wild card. And then, which one am I forgetting? The NFC, I went North, I went South, I went East, no, I didn't go West. Arizona Cardinals win that. Then the Seahawks get the wild card. And then what's the other wild card? I don't know. I don't see another NFC team right now that's really impressed me enough to say, yeah, they look like a wild card team. I mean, I guess the Panthers are your best option, but I'm not trusting them right now. And San Francisco, still keep an eye on them. I had them being an 8-8 team. I still think they can be around that formula. And the St. Louis Rams, no. Trust me about the St. Louis Rams. They're actually going to end up being one of the top 10 draft picks, and maybe top 5. They're not a talented roster. They have a talented defensive line. That's it. So anyway, Seahawks, they're going to make the playoffs. They're going to be fine. All right, Indianapolis Colts. This, I think, might be problemsome because they're not looking good at all. Unlike the Seahawks that had their moments, unlike the Bears who had their moments, unlike the Eagles really didn't have any moments. The Lions had their moments. The Colts have not had their moments. The Colts have never, throughout this season, throughout any quarter, throughout any minute of any game, have the Colts looked like a better team than the team they were facing. They've never competed. They were never in the discussion. I mean, maybe in the very, very, very beginning of that Buffalo game, but that ended quickly. So the Colts have not up to this point looked like a team that was on the same level as the team they were playing. And yes, they're in an easy division, but I ask you and I ponder to you, and maybe I'm being biased here, is it going to be that easy? I'm going to tell you a small little tale, and this is coming from a Tennessee Titans fan, so maybe I'm going crazy, maybe I'm being biased, and that's fine and whatever. But back in 2012, there were 3 rookie quarterbacks starting by the names. Actually, there were 4, but 3 that I care about. Russell Wilson made the playoffs 11-5. Andrew Luck made the playoffs 10-6, or maybe he was 11-5. And then Robert Griffin III, 10-6. Rookie quarterbacks can make the playoffs, guys, if they're good. And RG3 was good. He was hella good his first season. When you can change your quarterback from shit to fit, your team can flip on a dime. You can go to worst to first, and then boom, the division is won. You're back in it. You're a playoff team. You're contending. Ask Russell Wilson and the Seahawks. Ask Andrew Luck in the Indianapolis Colts. And ask RG3 in the Washington Redskins. And the way Marcus Mariota has played so far, I believe, and Jameis Winston too could. I wouldn't be surprised. These guys can make the playoffs, man. I don't know why this is so shocking, but look, we saw it with 3 rookie quarterbacks in 2012, and Russell Wilson, Andrew Luck, and Robert Griffin III. When a rookie quarterback can come in and play well, boom, the team can be flipped immediately. And I would not be shocked at all if the Tennessee Titans could flip the script and make the playoffs this season. But it's all going to depend, not all, but I need to see how they look tomorrow against the Indianapolis Colts. If the Titans beat the Colts tomorrow, that's it. Yeah, I mean, well, that's not it, but I'm on the bandwagon 100%. I'm on it. I am not afraid to be progressive, to make bold statements, and I think there's a storyline here people are missing out on, and I'm going to identify it. So with that said, I still think the Colts are going to win the division. For now. Again, if they lose tomorrow, then I'm jumping on the Titans bandwagon. But they're still just too talented. They're still just... Andrew Luck has not been playing well up to this point, but he's still too good. And they should win the division. But if they lose tomorrow, man, I don't know anymore. Just keep that in mind. All right. Next, we have the New Orleans Saints, 0-2. I picked this team to win the NFC South. Now, again, though, with the Saints, the first game they played, did you expect them to win? No. So then, week 2, they faced the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in New Orleans. Did you expect them to win? Yes, and they didn't. So, up to this point, they've had one game where they've been upset. That's not a horrible deal. Unlike the Colts, where to me it's 2, and then unlike the Eagles, where for me it's 2. This team is a team that only has lost one game they weren't supposed to win. Or they were supposed to win. So with that in mind, I think they can rebound. Now, obviously, they're going to start 0-3 because Drew Brees is out for week 3. But after that, you're going to see the Saints start to win games as Drew Brees comes back healthy. Talk of him being done is ridiculous. Come on, guys. He's still a top 10 quarterback in the NFL. Then you're getting back Keenan Lewis on defense. You're getting back Jairus Byrd on defense. It's the 2 men that are going to help their secondary out tremendously. I think they could still be around a 6-10 to 8-8 team. They're still going to get their fair share of wins. They're still going to beat the Bucs the next time around. Talk of them being a top 5 draft pick, no, not with Drew Brees. You're not going to be one. Like, the worst I've ever seen a team be with a franchise quarterback was the Atlanta Falcons and Matt Ryan back in 2013. That's the worst. And that required a horrible defense, a horrible offensive line, horrible running backs. Basically, everyone was bad except for he and Julio Jones. That's what it required for a franchise quarterback to go 4-12. It doesn't happen. While Drew Brees has an okay offensive line, pretty good running backs, wide receivers could need a better word. Defense isn't horrible. They're going to win their fair share of games. And then finally, we have the Baltimore Ravens, 0-2. I struggled coming into this season picking the Baltimore Ravens and previewing them and predicting how many games they would win coming into the season because I was very concerned with their wide receivers in terms of where are the playmakers. I mean, Steve Smith can only do so much. Brashad Perriman, I did not like coming out. And coming into the draft, I did not like him. Ozzie Newsome drafted him for a reason that I don't know. Because usually Ozzie Newsome is pretty damn good with this. And he still is, because he drafted Carl Davis, who's already looking like their best rookie, honestly, in the 3rd round. And I don't know how he slipped through the cracks, but he did. So he got a good one there. I don't like Brashad Perriman. I think the Ravens, they're going to bounce back because like the Saints and like the Detroit Lions, they've lost only one game they should have won. The Ravens, no one picked the Ravens, or hopefully you didn't, pick the Ravens to win week 1 against Denver. So them losing week 1 in Denver to Denver, no one cares. All right. Now, week 2, they lost a game they should have won. Okay, fine. The Ravens lose games they should win all the time. They lost to the Browns last year. They lose to this team the year before that, and that team the year before that. They always do this. They can still bounce back. It needs to be tomorrow, though. They need to win tomorrow because I can't see them going 10-3 after tomorrow. That is a little too high for me. So Ravens are still in it. They need to win tomorrow. Ultimately, though, I'm not projecting playoffs anymore. I was very borderline when projecting playoffs. If those of you that watched remembered, I said it was going to come down to the Ravens and the Chargers, and I was just going to pick the Ravens just because they've made it 5 out of the past 6 years, so they should make it. That was my rationale. Now I'm jumping off, I think. They'll still be around 8-8. Their defense is too good. But I don't know if it's going to be playoffs anymore. AFC wildcards, I think it's going to be like San Diego, maybe Indianapolis, maybe Tennessee. Again, maybe I'm crazy, but they have rookie quarterbacks. They can win in the NFL. Miami, Buffalo, a lot of more AFC wildcard contenders than the NFC. That much I know. So we'll see how things are. And maybe I'm overreacting, and then tomorrow or, next week I'll look at this video and I'll be laughing and you'll be laughing and we'll have a good time laughing at each other. But for now, if I had to pick 2 teams that are going to make the playoffs despite their 0-2 record, for now, number 1 has to be the Seattle Seahawks. And number 2, I will say, is the Philadelphia Eagles, although... Actually, no, not the Philadelphia Eagles, the Indianapolis Colts, although it pains me to say. In Philadelphia, I haven't seen enough. I think even with their injuries, the Dallas Cowboys, I think they're going to win the division now. The more I think about it, even with their injuries, they can still go 9-7. So 2 teams, I'm going to say the Indianapolis Colts and the Seattle Seahawks. This could change tomorrow. So keep that in mind. All right, guys, what are your 2 teams? Comment down below. Only 2. Don't tell me 3. Don't tell me 4. The statistics say it won't even happen for 1. All right, so only give me 2. All right, guys, until next time, James Carter TV, I'm out. Peace.